jump over here and make sure that all is well in the event space. Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited because we had to put this off for a week. And so everybody, we were geared up. I know Jennifer and I were geared up, and then lifed. It's just some things happened, and so I had to postpone a week. But welcome to the Lioness Warrior Kingdom Women in Leadership Networking event. We are working on doing this every single month. We try to do it on the second Tuesday of every month, but again, like I said, life was life in this week and or last week, and so. But here we are. Here we are. I'm excited for my guests. Normally, we have multiple panelists on, but you know what? Let me just say this because I love saying this. I don't know how you feel, Jennifer, but I love saying this. When you have a Guinness's World Record holder, okay, as your guest, they have a whole lot to share, okay? And she is a world record holder within the technology space, which is incredible. So help me welcome Jennifer Ponder, my panelist for today. Girl, how are you?
I am good, Dr. Corlett. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to have this talk with you and to speak with your community. And again, I'm always so appreciative for you to acknowledge that because so many times we, need to acknowledge ourselves more and know, like, girl, you did that. You have that Guinness World Record. So I always thank you so much for your appreciation and shouting me out.
You know what? It's amazing. It's amazing. I would like for you, because this today's networking event is geared toward women in technology. But let me say this, ladies, because I'm really, if you've been to our networking events in the past, you understand that this is not just about us that are on the screen. It's about you ladies as well. And so I would love for you to make sure you drop your contact information, who you are, what you do, who you serve in the chat. This is not one of those, no, don't shout yourself out type of events. This is just the opposite. It is a networking event for women in leadership, and you never know who's on here who may be able to take advantage of what you offer. So shout yourself out, your contact again, where your platforms are, your company name, all of that. I want to see all of that going on in the chat. While you're doing that, Jennifer, let's just give our audience just some background on where you've come from and how prevalent you really, really are in this network or in this technological space.
Definitely. Well, thank you for just again lending your platform to this awesome conversation today. Well, ladies, I just want to let you know my start, started out as early as 2010 when it came to, working on legacy applications for healthcare IT companies and also digital marketing companies. I knew for the longest time since I was a kid that I wanted to be in technology, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So I came through the time of working through, digital marketing and building MySpace pages for my friends in college, but I knew I could take this a step further. And so for me, I just went through a software engineering program. And what I later did, I started to work on, really collaborative projects for startups, nonprofit organizations. Say, for instance, if you have a company where you may not can afford to hire an entire IT team, or you have a CTO, I always wanted to lend my expertise and knowledge to helping companies, because we have so many people these days that, sometimes they don't know what they don't know. So in my early days, I always had just that penchant for helping companies to figure out what technology do we need and how can we get to the next level. And so, I was a software engineer, cloud engineer, and also over the last year and a half, I became an AI consultant, because I knew, of course, as well, for me, I had to keep myself relevant. How can I do this? Because we all know lately the changes that has been happening, even in the tech world. And so I know, like some of you, out there, you may be caregivers. I'm a caregiver for my grandmother as well. And so I wanted to create something for me that also didn't only provide a legacy for my family moving forward, but also the autonomy for me to take care of my grandmother. So I started my own consultancy where I was helping companies to modernize their cloud and legacy applications, but also how they can add AI, because we all know by 2030, and AI is happening at the speed of light right now. If you are not moving with AI, you're definitely going to be left behind. So I took that same, just ingenuity that I had and perseverance to, just start this company and want to continue to help small to mid-sized businesses to modernize their systems. How can I help you to strategize and add AI in? And also, my philanthropic arm, of course, is helping nonprofit organizations and mentoring young ladies who want to get into this tech space. Because if you all can just imagine, there are about 10 to 11% of women who are in the STEM and technology, computer science space, and about 3%, less than that, in the C-suite space. So, if you look at the McKinsey and Company Women in Tech Data Report from 2024, 2025, and some other reports out here, that tech has come a long way for women in these roles, but we still have a long way to go. So I am also the National Program Director at STEM Atlanta, where I get to speak life into these young ladies and young men about, how can you get involved in STEM and how can you take it to the next level from a technology standpoint, because it is so much out here to learn. And so these are some of the things that I love to do, and just going through continuing to help people to understand technology at a level that is really providing clarity, because there's a lot of chaos out here. There's a lot of technical jargon that may go over your head. So I really have tried to be, Dr. Corlett, that liaison and just that person who I feel that people can come to make technology understandable and easily accessible.
Do me a favor, explain STEM, because there's some people that may not really understand the crux of what it entails.
Sure. So STEM, I'll just let you know the acronym: science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you think about biologists that fall under here, chemists. Now, one of the things I'll explain to you all as well, what we did with our young ladies, started to add in beauty and STEM. This is just one example. When you think about everything that you do has STEM tied to it. So when you think about you putting on makeup every day, there's a chemist behind that is looking at the product, how much is needed to go in an eyeshadow or a face cream. Even you have civil engineers who are part of the engineering space, and also the M is for math. Think about actuaries, people who do a lot of math on a daily basis. And so I know a lot of times, we think about the creative part, but there's still that STEM part: science, technology, engineering, and math. It's in every facet of everything we have. But also you do want to add the artistic. Now, there are some programs that have STEAM as well, so you're adding the arts in there as well. And so that's a good thing, is that we are not leaving out artistic, creativity and purpose, because we need that as well.
Awesome. So you have been in this space for quite a while. I mean, you look like you probably just came out of college, but you've been there for quite some time. Tell us kind of what you have observed from a female perspective, because this is a woman in leadership networking event. But how have the women in this arena progressed? Like, I know we got a long ways to go, but what are some of the progressions that you have seen happen?
Sure. And I'll just lay out, ladies, it's been over 15 years that I've been in the technology space. I mean, I know some of us from the days of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, even we know the older COBOL coding language. But one of the things that I saw early on, Dr. Corlett, I had to find community, because in those IT departments, I was either the only woman or the only Black woman. And so I leaned on, being a part of organizations like Women Who Code, Women in Technology, just finding other ladies who I could, just build with. Let's do collaborative projects. Let's talk about our journey and where we're going. But also, too, one of the things that I also often did when I was speaking, in the technology space, I wanted to create my own stage, provide spaces where women of color, they could come on and be a part, and, where I could showcase them as well. Because one of the things I always wanted to do, even though I had to build my own space, I wanted to create space for people coming behind me. So it was all about, pulling other women up, because we all know how it can be with the gatekeeping in certain professions and certain industries. And, I've just never been a person like that. I've always wanted to figure out, how can I help other young ladies? Because this is a story that I always share. I was the young kid, on career day, we had the policemen, the firemen, the teachers, the lawyers coming to speak to us. And those are all needed professions. But I did not see the software engineer who was a woman. And so I said, if I could take that and one day be the image for a young lady to see, oh my God, it's a Black software engineer. They exist. I know we had the movie Hidden Figures, but if you all can just think about, did you hear the Katherine Johnson story before that movie? Most people have not. And so, this is critical, why I care so much and so passionate about this space. And so one of my signature talks has been creating your own pathway to leadership. And what that really entails is, hey, if you're not given a seat at the table, you can build your own, certainly. Because I know sometimes with the traditional path of, we go through the computer science degrees, that's great. And you can work, 15, 20, or even 30 years and retire. But what about if you want to work in a space where you can create your own projects? You get a chance to create your own apprenticeships and internships, and, choose who you want to work for and what you want to build. And that's kind of how I wanted to design my career, where I could work with others. And it has gained me a lot of opportunities, just taking that leadership aspect and saying, hey, let me work with this startup or this small business or nonprofit. Let me create and build a product or a digital asset for them, solve a problem with real results. And I mean, it just spread like wildfire what I was doing. And I said, you know what? I need to speak about this, how other women can create their own way to leadership. And that's how a lot of times I was promoted to different things, even roles in the community, roles within companies, because of my outside leadership, just creativity and ingenuity.
I love that. I'm looking at the comments while you're speaking as well. I just want to give a shout out to Kimberly Porter, who is in early childhood education, who says 2026 she has a STEM book for girls ages 4 through 8. So
Awesome.
love
that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This is what we need in this season of the atmosphere that we live in. We know that we as women and those that have gone before us have fought a very valiant fight, but it's not over. It's not over. And my biggest thing, especially with Lioness Warrior Kingdom, is to equip women not to feel that they're in competition with men, but to stand on their own graces and on their own merits. We're not here to compete. We're here to complete. Okay. Yep. We're here to fill in the missing pieces that, we need. Okay. Women, one of the things about us, we love balance. We don't like to be off kilter. We're nurturers, and we like to make sure we're right brain and left brain, right? We want to make sure that it all comes together. And so I think it's really, really important that we as women, first and foremost, support one another, which is why we're doing this. But secondly, make room, like you just said, for others to come alongside of us. I know you have a passion, because we've talked about this before, for women. I believe it is 40 to 60 or somewhere in there.
Yes, definitely that age group. And I also, help women who enter their 70s, 80s. Believe it or not, ladies, you have so many women who are, taken the world by storm as entrepreneurs. We know more than any time before, and I'd like to share this, Dr. Quillette, if you don't mind, like ladies who are now taking the reins with AI, where we're going to the next level. So these are the age groups I work in, and trying to help ladies to strategize what their next steps look like. Because sometimes we feel in life, after the children are grown and out the house, what can we do? That creative thing that we used to do 10, 15 years ago. Hey, let's see if we can make a business out of that. Or if we have a business, how can we add AI to take this thing to the next level? So that's definitely a passion of mine, of helping women to see what's possible with AI in these next steps of your life.
It's that's a passion of mine. I love AI. I really do. And it's sad because so many people are misinformed about it, and the fact that it is just a tool. It's going to be a bad tool in a bad person's hand, and it's going to be a good tool in a good person's hand, but it's a tool. And the more we can learn about it, the more we can apply that tool for our own acceleration and advancement, the further we can go faster. That's how I see it. Faster. And so I've heard people, again, that fear thing, well, it's going to take over my job. Well, not if you learn how to use it, because now you're valuable to your job.
Right. And it's creating new roles. That's the thing. I think at every turn of a different technology pivot, there has always been jobs created. And so if you can think about how, and these are some of the things I work with my clients on: saving time, building productivity, growing your impact. If you have not, at least been informed that AI can also make you relevant to companies and international companies in countries that you might not have thought about doing business with before. Right. Just think about saving 10 to 20 hours per week. If you can get that amount of time back in over 60 hours a month, what would you do with that? Just the wealth of things that's happening. And I said, now is such a great time because this thing is moving fast. In the beginning, the models were growing and moving every 7 months. Then that sped up to 3 months. Soon we'll be up to 1 month. We're out on ChatGPT 5.1 is out right now. So the models are steadily moving, and there's so many things going on. And so I just really encourage people, if you continue to wait and sit on the sidelines, you're definitely going to be so far behind that you will not be able to catch up. It's definitely a great time to get in. You don't have to bite off more than you can chew at once. Find that one tool that works for you every day. And this is something I work with my clients on: building their strategy, building something, even if it's just a GPT that may save you 5 hours a week. For a report that may have took you 6 to 8 hours, just start with that one thing, create a pilot program within your business, and just see how that works. And you can just try different tools. It's definitely right now is the best time to test, iterate. If that doesn't work, go on to the next tool, but don't feel like you have to be overwhelmed. You got to be a tech expert that, oh my God, I got to have years of coding experience. You don't. It's people out here who have not used AI a day in their life, and they are making businesses. They are getting paid from digital products. They are online doing so much. So I just want you all to know
that's so important. It's finding your niche, finding that niche market for you. What interests you. You'll see there's a QR code up there. I'm gonna give myself a little shameless plug. There's a QR code on the screen. I'm doing a 3-day challenge next week, and it is dealing with, the name of it is Purpose to Profit. And what it's dealing with is taking your passion and monetizing your message, which is very, very important. Now, here's the little caveat that I have, like what you just said, Jennifer. I created a GPT called Faith Biz Blueprint. Awesome. And my Faith Biz GPT it helps you to create your business plan, marketing plan, all the different nuances that you need to be a successful entrepreneur, but it helps you create it from a kingdom perspective, because I'm a woman of faith. And so to include that in there, there's all these different kind of things that you can start playing with and seeing how you can utilize AI and the tools that are at your disposal, and there's so many platforms out there now. I mean, AI is creating AI now. It really
It
is.
is.
Like you just said, you don't have to know coding and all of that. I'll look at myself seriously. I'll use me for an example. I'm 69 years old. I'll be 70 next year. I'm
It looks
unhireable.
fabulous, I must say.
Thank you. But I'm unhireable. I can't go out and get a job at this age. Nobody would want to hire me. However, like you did, Jennifer, I'm out here now building my own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building my own, and I'm doing it from the comfort of my own home in my home office. This is what AI does for you. It liberates you, and like you shared, you're a caregiver, but it has liberated you to do what you need to do to take care of your grandmother and still make a living. We talked before the show began, and we were talking about, the 300,000 women that were laid off. It sometimes things happen to like spark that little light bulb to say, you know what, maybe I am not meant to work for somebody, but to work with somebody to help them build what they need to build.
Right. And partnership and collaboration is just phenomenal. And that's what I would encourage anyone. If you feel like, hey, I got this idea, but I know someone that has the platform, I may not can get it off the ground, but I can collaborate and partner. And now we know entrepreneurship, it is a grind, and it may not be for everyone, but you can collaborate and partner. You could also be a co-founder if you don't want to take on just all of that on you. That's something to think about. But I just say in these times, Dr. Coley, I think just even being a kid to now seeing us go through the AOL, the .com boom, just all the technological changes. Now it is so easy to make money online. I mean, just think about, I came through the time where social media wasn't a thing. Think about when cell phones really just became your life.
Wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
I remember the landline.
right. I grew up in that household. So just think about now what AI has the power to do and what it shifted, and what you mentioned as well. One of the things I build for my clients is AI agents, and this allows them to never mislead or sell. It works for them 24/7 in their company, where it makes decisions, but it is trained correctly on your business knowledge, your voice and branding and all of that. And this is one of the things that I tell the ladies that I work with as well. There's so much going on in the realm of women and mental health, wellness, burnout, just really creating sustainability around us where we are not getting exhausted, stressed out, overwhelmed. There's so much, and you can get AI to help you do that. And so one of the things, what I started implementing really over a year and a half ago as well, just how I can utilize AI in the care for my grandmother. What platforms are out there that helps me with her care, but I also have AI agents implemented in my company where, I can take her to those doctor visits. I can do the things and have downtime for myself. If you can think about, when's the last time you had that spa day? Or you wanted to take that vacation, just, one of those spontaneous drop everything at the drop of a dime and say, hey, I'm going to Bahamas tomorrow. Just those little things that you can think about in your life, just getting that time back. But, no time more than great right now. I said, if you can think about, package your expertise up, sell an ebook, what digital program or digital course. And even if you want to do coaching online, and Dr. Coley, I'm, been on this thing about creating your AI twin. This is one thing that you can do to stay online, stay relevant. And you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I got to be dressed with makeup on every day. Your AI twin is present at all times. You can give it a script. You can create it on your business knowledge. It can train classes for you. It just does a lot. And so I said that is a particular creative aspect of my AI arm of my business that I am doing for businesses lately as well, because as you all notice, there's more and more AI content, especially AI influencers. Next time you get a chance, take a look at YouTube videos. Most of the time now, any thought leader, they have their AI twin working for them and doing those videos. So if you get a chance, just anyone online, take a look at that. And so that will really let you know where we are in terms of AI and what it is doing every day to help us to save time and grow our impact online 24/7. Because when you think about it, think about the ads and just trying to publicize your business back in the day. You probably spent about 5,000 or more just trying to get a commercial, a photo shoot done, and so many things to keep your business ahead. And now we're in the times of AI photo shoots. I can just say as a speaker alone, just spending anywhere from $600 to $800 on photo shoots, and now you can use AI and they look realistic and not just something that looks plastic and not professional. They look like real professional shoots. So it's just so much that's out here that's just at our fingertips right now, Dr. Colette. I'll tell you, it's such a different world.
It really is. As you were speaking, I thought back, I was like, over the progression. I don't remember because I'm old, but I'm not that old. But when they went from horse and buggy to automobile.
Yes.
And people were leery of the automobile, right? And then they went from the automobile to the airplane, and people were leery of the airplane. And now they got jets, literally, can span the globe in a matter of a few hours. This is how we have progressed as a human species. Progression is always going forward. You mentioned MySpace, and I had to laugh because I remember when MySpace came about, and my daughter was like, "You know what, Mama, you need to go on MySpace." I'm not going on MySpace. I was one of those, right? And it's got all that negative stuff in it. Fast forward, and that was like 2008. And she was like, "Well, Mama, there's a lot of people on there that that love the Lord. You should go on there." I remember being led. She prompted me, but being led, and I winded up going on there and started a prayer group for leaders. I've always been called to leadership. And so I started praying over the leaders, because everybody goes to the leaders for prayer, but who's praying over the leaders? And God just really elevated that thing. And to this day, I have friends that I made on MySpace, okay, almost 20 years ago. It's amazing when you think about how we've progressed to where we are today. Especially like my soapbox, okay, as far as the AI space is concerned, is for seniors and for people of faith, because those are the two groups that are really sitting on the sideline and not progressing in it, when again, it's just a tool and it's not something to fear. It's something to embrace. And I think about, even just from a biblical perspective, go ye out and tell to the far corners of the world. Well, we can't do that in our individual basis, but we can with the help of technology. Right. And that's where we need to really, really see how it can advance. I have another platform that I'm building right now that's going to help ministries in their streaming to be transitional at that moment. While they're streaming, they can go in and the streams can be translated and interactive with those that are watching, just like if they were in the sanctuary. There's so many different things that, AI gives you the ability to do if you just allow yourself to be led. It'll never take the place of the Holy Spirit. It'll never take the place of God. It will never replace human beings, as long as you are there to learn how to utilize it. So, and I think that's something that people are fearful of, and they don't need to fear it.
They don't. They definitely don't. It's there to be your thoughtful co-partner. Always, I think about, even as I mentioned earlier, of how I help my clients and how I train AI agents and, GPTs, and just think about when I'm interacting with Claude and ChatGPT, you have to be there to add your creative knowledge, your creative, just all of that, because you don't want the AI to, go out and just create something that you didn't say, or sound textbooks, sound robotic, or just like a textbook. You have to train it so that it sounds just like you. And also, I really enjoyed what you just said there, Dr. Quillette, about we have to embrace it. Just like with any technology change, just think of all of the things that you're able to do now with ease, how it has helped you if you needed that grocery list and you just thought forever, what can I do with this stuff? You can take a picture of what's in your freezer, ask AI to help you. These are the ingredients I have. Build me a 7-day recipe plan. Like, when could you do that before? Or either a fitness plan, just so many things, or even to help you with your SOPs in your business. It's so many use cases that you just wouldn't even believe. And that's why I always, really try to empower people. Think about that one thing, either that one repetitive task or that manual task that's taking up so much of your time, or even something that, may help with your kids. If you need to think about an activity for them after school. And I will say AI has even helped me to write some children's books because I always wanted to write STEM books. And so I've taken some of my own personal creative, wording and things and allow AI to help me with the idea and the concept of the outline, but I'm adding my own, words to it. But, when I thought I had to go out and pay an illustrator, and it's just the beautiful images that come out of AI, that I don't have to get the illustrator anymore. But when you think of all of the things that were taking you hours of time and you're like, oh my God, it's going to take me a week to get this done, or 2 to 3 days. And you're able to do this in minutes. I mean, there are platforms out here now that, hey, you were thinking about, I needed this 5 to 10 years ago, or I needed this yesterday. It's just amazing to know where we've come. And that's one of the messages I really try to share with people. This is something you really want to embrace, because as the world change, we all know we need more of us in, people of color, especially Black women, Black men in this community, to be a part of this, because, there are still issues with AI where you have to prompt it a lot. It may not particularly show your actual skin color and skin tone. A lot of times in the images that are created, we still have to do a lot. And so that's why we need our creative voices in this thing, so that we can have representation in AI and more of it around, so that it is not biased, and that it has, it is used to seeing our different shades, our different personalities, our different hairstyles, and all of that.
One of the things that I love, because I do a lot of teaching, and I can do my lesson plan, I can, structure it or whatever, but then I can drop it in AI and say, where are my gaps? What am I missing? What will enhance this? And it'll come back and it'll be like, oh, this is strong. This is this, but
right.
It'll give me suggestions. These are things, it's like the AI tools have research capabilities that far exceed what we can do in limited spaces of time. Because like you said, like the research we use, my day, you had to go to the library, okay, or you had Encyclopedia Britannica on your book.
I did.
Okay, and you had to look all of this stuff up. Now it's just like it's at your fingertips. It started with the internet, where you can go, and it started with Google. You're like, well, Google, help me find this, that, and the other. And now it is so advanced that why wouldn't you want to work smarter, as my mother would say, and not harder?
And now, and also with Google, we used to be able to do searches. There are AI browsers out here now, like Perplexity has Comet, I believe it is. Also, there's Dia that is out there. It's only for Mac. It may be for HP now, but I know it started out for Mac first before HP. It's made live to HP users. But it's just amazing. Like you said, I remember spending those weekends at the library and using, encyclopedias. When Google came along, it was like, oh my God, we wish we had this all of our life. And now you have the AI browsers that's able to put things at your fingertips. I mean, science projects look nowhere like they used to. You're able to do something just totally different, and building, lesson plans. Even, I think about the educators that are out here that are able to implement faster grade papers faster, midterms, if you have to come up with tests and things of that nature, there are so many tokens that AI is trained on because it's trained from data from all over the internet. And one of the things I like to tell people, when you're prompting AI, don't just ask basic questions like draft me an email. You always want to give it a role. Act as my expert email marketing advisor. And you can tell it if you want it to have over 15 years of experience, but always give it context, details. What are you trying to specifically do? Who is the audience you are trying to serve? And also, any other details that may be helpful, and give it a format to give it for it to give you back the information. If you want it in a bulleted list, a table, also, a structured paragraph or outline, make sure you're always giving it a role, context, details, and also asking it for a specific format, because it starts to get used to, your writing style. And also you can get a system prompt out of that and creating those key prompts and things. And so I like to really share with my clients, once you build your personalized system prompt, this can help you in your business to do other things. So we want to make sure that we are always getting the most out of AI, that we are not just taking the first response, but we're always prompting it for more and better results and more details, so it can give us back the beefy responses, the things that's good.
You touched on exactly what was on my heart. Because for me, it expands my mental capacity, because once it gives me something, then it sparks something else in my mind, and I want to drill down deeper. I want to learn more about it. And as you said, never take the first response. That's me. It's like, okay, so give me deeper insight, and you can take a word. It might give you like a paragraph. Well, give me deeper insight in why this is important, and it just literally, for me, it expands your capacity for knowledge. It really does. And like I said, I just love it. We are winding down, but I really, I don't want us to get off of here without you sharing, so that, I love all the comments over here. You guys are really putting in some great stuff, and thank you for sharing who you are and what you do. And if you haven't done that yet, please do so. But I want you, so that they really understand the depth of your knowledge of what you're speaking on. Explain to them what your Guinness's world record is in.
So if you will notice that I said earlier, cloud engineering. So I had to write a cloud script, and I had to do it in a certain amount of time against 500 other developers. And I had to complete it in that time. And so, this is something, being a part of another women's cloud group, because of course, in that space, it's male dominated as well. But one of the things I've always prided myself on is, how can I test myself and test my knowledge, right? Within building cloud applications or web applications, how can I be of speed? And I said, you know what, Jennifer, let's just try this and see if you can do it. And it was just something for me that I just didn't even think that would be possible, but it was, because I just know my years of just knowledge, really skill, and just really believing in myself. A lot of times I think for us, we look at imposter syndrome, and we try to look at, well, this person's here, but I'm not there yet. That's definitely nothing to be afraid of, really. I will say, you want to make sure that you're always looking at yourself and where you're going. Sometimes just having that focus and tunnel vision. But yeah, that particular aspect of it, writing that cloud script and being able to, beat that specific time and being there with those developers. And also, I've been a part of other world record challenges as a community, doing creative efforts since that time, in the tech space as well. So that was definitely just a phenomenal time for me.
I just, like I said, I love it. Excuse me. And the fact that, being a woman of color, and in a male dominated arena, you have not allowed it to hinder you. but you've pressed on. And this is like, and this is not just for women of color, obviously.
Right.
This is for women in general, because we really, really do live in a male dominated society. However, I want to encourage you all to not allow the things that have been said and the culture that we may be a part of stop us and hinder us from being all that God created us to be. We are the daughters of the King, not even a king, but the King. And He has well equipped us with what we need to excel. And He's given us tools to do so. And it's important that we understand that. Another thing that's really, really important is collaboration. This is why we do these networking things, so that we can support one another. We can hold each other arms up. I say this all the time, and why I've taken on the image of the lioness. And it's because lionesses are the only big cat out there that stays within the pride and supports their sisterhood. Lionesses protect each other. They hunt together. They raise their children, their cubs together. I'm sorry, my nose. They raise their children together. They are a sisterhood. They're not in competition. And that's who we have to be, especially in this leadership space. We've been taught to be competitive most of our lives. And there is a little edge to competition, but not when it hinders what you can do collaboratively. And I believe collaboration is the currency in which we live in today. We are not islands. We can't do it by ourselves. That's one of the beauties of AI. You don't have to, all right? But it's not just about technology, it's about sisterhood. And so I really want to encourage all of you ladies out there to utilize these networking events to collaborate, to meet one another. Jennifer and I met in a cohort that Dr. Pam Perry put on. And we were both part of the cohort. And all of us that were a part of it, we were in Washington, D.C. a couple of months ago. And we've all branched out to learn about one another and collaborate and to see where we can strengthen and build each other up. And it wasn't just women, it was women and men, but it was an amazing time of camaraderie. And so I just want to encourage you to make sure that you're taking advantage of spaces like this, not just this one, but spaces like this, where you can come together and you can collaborate with your sisterhood. All right. So Jennifer, parting words for our ladies out here.
Well, I would just like to say, ladies, make sure that you are always just, keeping your ear to current events right now, making sure that before you really say, no, I don't know about that, just say yes to yourself in this space, in this time right now. Because there are so many things out here that's growing and changing in this space, but you always want to stay innovative, because we always want to think about how can we continue to grow in our personal lives, mentally, physically, and spiritually, but also how can we grow in our professional lives and keep being the leaders that God has called us to be, and also who we know we can be. So I just want you to always think about, what can you say yes to? What can you be open to? And just remember, AI is going fast right now, but you don't have to do everything in one day. Even though it makes you feel like that, what are you saying yes to for yourself, but what are you saying yes to in this time of AI? And I just want you to say yes to yourself in this time to not be left behind.
Oh, I love it. Say yes to not be left behind. I love that. Jennifer, how can they find you and how can they reach you?
Yes, you all can reach out to me and find me on LinkedIn. I'm Jennifer Ponder, CSM, and that's for Certified Scrum Master. Also, too, that's a tech thing. But also Jennifer Ponder Speaks on Facebook, and Jennifer Ponder Speaks on Instagram are my professional speaking pages as well. Next Door Strategy Consulting is my company. Love to speak with any of you ladies who are looking to build and learn about AI and strategize. But I'm always open to, just imparting great nuggets and words in people, because right now more than ever we need good words to help us keep going forward and moving faster than ever, because we all know we are in times now where, you know, it's few and far between that people are reaching out to help others, to collaborate, as Dr. Colette said. And collaboration over competition, it's always going to be great currency to have, no matter what times we are in, and no better time than now. So that's definitely how you can find me.
Thank you. Well, once again, as I shared earlier, the QR code that you're seeing on the screen is the link to the challenge that I have coming up next week. It's December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's Purpose to Profit, and it's just to help you embrace what your passion is and take it and monetize it. And there is an AI component to it so that you can learn how to best use the tools that you have at your disposal. Thank you all so much for joining in. I really, really appreciate it. This will stay on LinkedIn. It's also on my YouTube channel, Dr. Colette James. And so if you know someone that would benefit from the conversation that you just heard between Jennifer and I, share it. Let them know that, you know, there's some women out here that love technology. And I'm not as versed, definitely, but I know how to tap in and to use it. And so I'm grateful. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I pray that it will be a season of family coming together and just loving on each other. And if you know somebody out there that does not have somebody to gather around with them, please reach out, invite them to your home, give them a plate, do something so that they know that they are loved and valuable. All right. All right, ladies, have an incredible day. And thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.